Hi, my name is Ashiauana and I am a medical intuitive, and I would love to share my story with you. It all started when I was 15 years old and I had a near-death experience. I was in a car accident and rolled over 15 times into Arrow Rock Dam and had a massive head trauma. And from that experience, I completely had a shift, a huge shift in my perception of how I saw the world. I was given sight. I was able to see things that I had never seen before of a non-physical nature, and it was incredibly challenging, to say the least. At that time of my life, I did everything that I could to try to digest what had happened, integrate it, and the only thing that I could do at that time was to drink a lot of alcohol and party and try to push it down as much as I could. And that's just the truth. When I was 19 years old, I was modeling for Nike and I had a spiritual awakening, and I had a huge epiphany that if I were to continue modeling, that I would not be walking my path as a divine being. It would not be the path that was the best path for my soul. And so I decided to follow my gut instincts and to follow my intuition as the grand old experiment to see what would happen in my life if I followed the sacred nudges and beckonings of the universe inside and all around me. So I decided to do that. And that led me to the path of studying massage therapy and getting a scholarship to go to Hawaii to study healing, energy medicine, and nutrition. And I studied with Arian Enyart for 5 years and ended up coming back to Boise, Idaho. And upon my return to Idaho, I met Lelelewa Tenrikiho, who's a shaman, and she took me on as apprentice, and I began studying with her and learning so much in the ways of the sacred hoop, divine healing, the great mystery, and that's a whole nother video, by the way. But as I was apprenticing with Lelelewa, I started a position working as a doctor's assistant where I was documenting and scribing diagnosis. And in that process with Dr. Moriarty, we discovered that I had a gift in diagnosis and a gift in being able to figure out what was going on with the patient. And at that time, that created we became colleagues in the ways of helping the patients together, which was really beautiful. And he had the patience and the foresight to help train me and to help me refine this gift in the ways of diagnosis. And during that time, I was called a medical intuitive by the patients. And I didn't call myself that. They started calling me that, and it stuck. And they wouldn't stop. In fact, one time I was like, please stop calling me a medical intuitive. I'm just please. And they said, no, we're just gonna call you that. And it got out into the greater community. You know, there was this girl calling herself a medical intuitive, and a medical doctor, Dr. Higginbotham, who had a mutual patient, had heard about it and asked me to go to lunch. And so I was like, this is great. I'm going to lunch with the medical doctor. We're going to have conversation about the ways of science and magic and how healing can go to the next level. And I was just really in a fantastical mindset about the possibilities. And he shows up with his hands on his hips saying, who do you think you are? Calling yourself a medical intuitive, and people are calling you this, and what's your background and what's your certificate? And you know, I really don't think I have anything to prove to anybody, especially at the time. I didn't think I had anything to prove to him. And this is really something that I see as between me and the divine, and it's a way to help people. And I told him that. And so he had suggested that we test my level of accuracy with my intuition upon working with patients. And so I agreed, and we did that for a month. And then he hired me, doubled my salary. I started working with him, and I worked with him for 8 years. And in those 8 years, what we did is we looked at what was going on underneath the symptoms, being able to address the underlying current of what was going on in the body and not just dealing with the symptoms. And there is so much diversity and beauty and lessons and so much opportunity for us to learn about ourselves and our path and our journey as a human spirit in those undercurrents of our body and our mind. And it has been an absolute honor and joy to explore those realms in the ways of finding a structure that allows the human spirit and the emotions and the mind of a being to be addressed, as well as the physical nature. And so that has become my passion and my joy, and my intrigue is to find the best way to serve people in the ways of healing the wholeness of who we are. My name is Ashiauana. Please subscribe, leave a comment, ask me a question. I would love to hear about your story and how you discovered your intuition and how you're living your life as an intuitive being. I look forward to hearing from you. Peace.